we are going to call the meeting to order.
Like green or orange? Camera?
Pardon?
Are you green or orange?
Green. It's green.
Okay, you can adjust.
Can you hear me now? Now? Never in my life have I been told to speak up. Usually the opposite. We're good? Okay. All right. So let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Next on the agenda is a moment of reflection. If you are the praying type, if you could say a little prayer for our township, its citizens, and especially keeping our Assistant Chief, Bill Woodward, in your thoughts and prayers. So if we could just take a moment. Thank you. Next is roll call.
Supervisor Bodie,
Here.
Clerk Faracco here, Treasurer Davis.
Here.
Trustee McKay,
Here.
Trustee Menke,
Here.
Trustee Greenwood. Here. Trustee Hoskins. Here. 7, we have a quorum.
Excellent. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda and considerations of additions or deletions.
So moved.
Support.
So we have a motion and support. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I do have a addition to the agenda.
Thank you.
I would like to add under section 12 between F and G, a motion to discuss the squad 5-2,
Squad 5-2.
the vehicle.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Or is it?
After that.
Do we add it now to the agenda though?
Everything's done.
Okay. So there's a second motion. Let's take a voice vote for the first motion between F and G to add the discussion on squad 5-2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, we need a motion to authorize Superintendent Beamish, Trustee McKay, and Chief Kokensparker to spend up to $20,000 to purchase a replacement vehicle for Squad 5-2. And that would be to add to the agenda after our discussion about Squad 5-2. So that would be between G and H. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, second.
Support.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Any other additions or deletions from the agenda? Okay. Next, I just want to real quick under the supervisor remarks, just let everybody know that March is the rebirth and renewal period. It's also Brain Injury and Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, Women's History Month, and my favorite, Irish American Month. So happy St. Patrick's Day next week to all those Irish Americans. The other thing is that there are some forms out on the table. We are going to hold an education day next door at the Overflow Church on April 26th. And we have a day full from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., a day full of educational topics. So there's still a couple things I have to finalize. However, we can get up to 25 people, and those forms are out there. If you would like to attend, we're going to do some CPR, some choking, some stroke information, 911, crime scene safety and some tips and tricks to be safe out there, and then fire safety throughout the day. And if you would like to attend that, please fill out that form and get that to me, the bottom part of the form. The top part has the agenda. That I'm very excited about. And just to let everyone know that there is a statewide tornado drill scheduled to be March 19th at 1 p.m. So don't freak out when you hear the tornado sirens. And that is all I have on that. Next thing on our agenda is recognition of an outstanding Bedford resident. What we're going to do tonight is recognize several people. As many of you know, on February 6th, our assistant fire chief was driving Squad 52 when he had a medical event that caused a crash on West Michigan, just inside the city limits. They had a lot of help there. Our firefighter Ronnie Climbers, where might he be? Is he behind us? He immediately pulled Assistant Chief Woodward out of the vehicle and began CPR right away, which was necessary. And then he had some help with Lieutenant Susan Johnson. Where might she be? There she is. All right. So the first thing I want to do for you two is to give you these certificates of recognition for helping. And I would just like to add that firefighter Ronnie Climbers had just passed his emergency medical responder certification course the week prior. And so we're very thankful for them. In addition to these certificates, they're also receiving what is called a field safe pin. Not everybody gets those, especially in a traumatic crash, because less than 1% of those people live. And we're very thankful that Assistant Chief Woodward lived, but we're really thankful for you guys for helping him. And I'd like to give these to you guys. So thank you. Oh, wait. Thank you. Here are your pins. Thank you. We're not done. Next, I'd like to call up paramedic Ben Reed and paramedic Kyla Ivanovich from Life Care Ambulance, who were the crew that transported Chief Woodward. They didn't just transport, they also helped him. Right, a paramedic's duty. So there's some field safe pins. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And their boss made it here too. That was nice. And then I would say finally, but I'm not quite done, sorry. We do have 3 firefighters from the city of Battle Creek who also helped. Is firefighter Nolan Loss here? I knew that one of them couldn't make it. Okay. Hi, can you give them one of the, okay. Firefighter Kyle Van Dussen and Lieutenant Ryan Johnson, and they're both here, correct? All right. Thank you. Here's yours, and if you don't mind taking these back to leave a moment. Sure.
That'd be great.
You have no one. Thank you. And finally, I'll just read the letter that I gave to Chief Kogensparker. And it is, I'm writing to express my deepest gratitude and admiration for the incredible professionalism, bravery, and quick thinking displayed by the members of your department during the medical emergency that recently affected Assistant Chief Woodward on February 6, 2025. The courage and expertise demonstrated by the team in saving Assistant Chief's Woodward's life during such a critical and traumatic event is nothing short of heroic. When faced with an unprecedented situation, your actions were swift, precise, and exemplary. The skill with which you worked together under pressure not only stabilized Assistant Chief Woodward, but also exemplified the very best qualities of your training, teamwork, and dedication to saving lives. Your department's response to this medical and trauma serves as a powerful reminder of the true meaning of service and sacrifice. Firefighters are often seen as heroes during fires and rescues, but the extraordinary effort your team displayed that day reminds us that heroism extends beyond any single incident. It is woven into every action, every decision, and every moment you commit to keeping others safe. Those firefighters who assisted on this call were Lieutenant Denny Seeger, Lieutenant Susan Johnson, Captain Matthew Godey, Lieutenant Curtis Lundberg, firefighter Shane Lundberg, firefighter Sean Kelly, firefighter Cody McCarty, and firefighter Ronald Plymers. In addition, both firefighter Plymers and Lieutenant Johnson performed life-saving CPR to Assistant Chief Woodward. Please accept this letter as a token of our gratitude for your dedication and bravery. The Charter Township of Bedford is fortunate to have such a remarkable team of professionals who consistently go above and beyond in their service to others. We're deeply thankful for your actions that day and continue to wish for the continued health and recovery of Assistant Chief Woodward. So a copy of each of these will go to those firefighters that were on scene, and also Clerk Bracco has a copy for each of their files, personnel files. So thank you, Chief Kogensparker. And then finally, I just have one quick thing, and that is for Assistant Chief Woodward. He doesn't get the field safe pin. He gets the survivor pin. And we're very happy to have you here, Bill. And thank you for everything you do, and just continue to get well.
We're working on it. So it's all good. And, I express my gratitude to everybody involved, and, it is, like I just said, it is nice to know that all of the training that we provide, everything that we've done sticks, and everybody could do these things under pressure. Because it's a lot different when you roll up and it's someone and someone you're connected with. So, to all of my people, to all the city, to Life Care, everybody in the city of Springfield that offered services as well. So I express my gratitude, and I'm here because of you guys. So thank you.
Great job, Carrie.
Thank you. Mhm. All right, next on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Support. All right, we have a motion and support. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda items? All right, this is a voice vote.
Yes.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Are there any public comments on agenda items only? Okay, thank you. Next is, Officer LaValle, Police and Fire Report.
Okay, so total number of calls for service on Bedford Township, for the month of February was 244 calls. We had a break-in and entering incident, forced entry at a storage unit business on West Michigan Ave. The renter noticed their lock was missing off their unit and unfortunately closed a grill, jewelry, dryer, totaling over $6,000 worth of stuff were stolen and is still under investigation. We had a larceny of mail on West River Road. Homeowner placed a check in the mailbox and put the red flag up for Postal Service to come get it. I expressed my opinion and recommendation multiple times. If you're gonna put a check or any personal items inside your mailbox, get them to a blue mailbox or downtown in the mailbox, because can't trust anyone these days. Okay. We had a vehicle fire / damage to property, malicious destruction in the area of Saratoga in Washington Ave. Someone intentionally placed a gas can near the vehicle and was suspected of arson. We had a fraud case near Highfield Road. There was an email scam that came out. The victim opened the email that they could win so much money. They approved it, gave them the account number. Well, at the end, they stole $1,000 and never got the reward or winning. So my recommendation, if you get an email, you don't know who it is, never seen it before, don't open it, delete it right away, okay? And additionally, our property accidents were up last month. We had 13 crashes in the township, and majority of those were deer. Okay, so they're still on the move, so just watch your surroundings when you're out late or even during the daylight.
Thank you so much. Is
I
there
have
any
a,
question? Oh,
yeah, I have
go
a
ahead.
question for you. You're saying things on the move, but, it's been nice weather out there, motorcycles are out. Last year, you guys said you had a plan to, for some of that, and you knew some of the people that were doing all this, the Willie walking and all that. I was going to Elmer yesterday to Dickman, and I seen two of them Willie walking in a group of 8. Is there anything that you still doing your plan to get taken care of this?
We're still taking the reports on that,
Yeah.
doing long form reports. We're using, business and cameras in case we can't get the, license plate on the back of the motorcycle or the quad or whatever they're driving.
Right,
We actually I looked at the reports today in day shift. We had one that took off from an officer going over 100 miles per hour on East Morgan Ave or Road.
is that the one that crashed? I heard there was an accident on East Avenue North yesterday on a motorcycle.
I'm not sure on that one.
Okay,
Yeah, I know one took off from one of our officers today.
okay,
So we're doing our best.
okay.
Um,
Well, the weather's nice and
yep,
they're out there playing, so.
yep. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
great, yep.
All right, Chief Kokensparker.
Nice weather. I liked it. Yesterday and today out there and stuff, there's no weather coming and stuff. But the only bad thing about it is gonna have to start cleaning up the yard. But that'll be it. Keep me busy and all the trouble maybe. But anyway, this last 30 days and stuff, they've run close to 70 runs on medic and stuff. A lot of this virus going around, people can't breathe, they got chest hurts and stuff like that, and that's all being caused because of this flu virus that's going around and stuff, and hopefully before long it'll get out of there. Well, since the 1st of January until just the other day, we've run about 208 medical runs and stuff, so we're doing more medical runs than we're doing anything else. And with this weather breaking now, there'll probably be some grass fires starting around or woods on fire, and there usually is always the first of the year or stuff. And we probably would be involved into that, but, yesterday or Sunday morning, early, I don't know, maybe by 10:30, we had a mutual aid with Johnstown on a house fire burning on Middle Lake out there. When I left to come out of the house and go get the rig and stuff, I could see the whole sky black over there, so I had no problem finding out where it was at up on 37 and Mill Road down there. Johnstown got there and it was pretty almost fully engulfed and with flames and stuff. And, one lucky thing, when they got there, the ice was right, the lake was right beside them, and all they had to do was cut a hole in the water, ice there, and then they had plenty of water, so we didn't have to mutual aid. But when our guys got there, and showed up there, they got their gear on and hurried right on down to the line, and they helped put it out, and they did a pretty damn good job of putting it out pretty quick. I mean, it was fully engulfed and stuff. There was time to get it all out. It was completely roof had fallen down in and stuff into there. But you can be proud of Bedford, like I've told you before in the past and stuff. You've got a good group here, young men and stuff. They've trained on the trucks and stuff. They know how to do when they get there on a scene, whether it be an accident or a fire and stuff like that. They don't have to have somebody come and tell, hey, you grab this, you grab that. They know what the heck they're doing and stuff like that. I'm proud of them. You should be proud of them, and hope that down the line, you know, they stick with you for a long time, because when you get somebody comes in and got to train and go through the schooling with 240 hours, then medical and stuff, it takes a little while, and they can't do anything until they're certified. We can't use them. More or less a gopher, what we use them for is to pull lines or something like that, but we cannot use them to go inside the building or anything until they are certified, because it's danger and you could get into big trouble, and you don't want to get my OSHA to come in here and play a game with you, because you don't want them. So, you know, we got a couple of people now who are getting close to finishing the school, and they'll probably be taking their test here coming springtime. Then they'll be getting certified and stuff onto that for firefighter and stuff. I have seen many years changes in this township, and with Terry here as the new supervisor, she makes the 9th one that I have served under in the township here since I've been on the fire department. I've seen a lot of changes. Some of them good, some bad, but most of them are all good. And I hope down in the future, coming ahead and stuff, you progress in this township very much. Show the other people in township around there what we've got and what we can do and stuff. Equipment and stuff now costs so much more than what it used to be and stuff. It's ridiculous what we have to pay for trucks now or gear and stuff that I can look back and remember. In 2003, we paid just under $1 million for 6 trucks. Right now, if I ordered an engine, I'd have to pay $1 million for that truck, and probably have to wait 2 years for you to get it. Things like that's going to happen here before long in the future. Hopefully when we get a station going out and building one out there in the village there and stuff, you will have to have trucks, new trucks to replace up into there. We've got a mini pumper that we're planning on ordering and stuff, and we're going to order the one. You got to get your chassis, I guess, to come in, and that was $525,000 just for one little light grass rig for be a high grade pumper on it and stuff that we could use for a firefighter and get back into the woods and drives that people are building their houses back in there. Nowadays, we've got an ordinance that's got to be driveways, got to be certain height and width for, but we still got a lot of places out here that these big trucks will never get into, and we don't want to be tearing them up just trying to get back there. People have got to cut these trees down and stuff and give us access to get back there. So we're going to see what's going to come happen in the future and stuff, but I hope it's all good. And the new board here with trustees and everything like that, I hope everybody works together with the fire department. Fire department are willing to work with everybody here. We have in the past. I hope we continue in the future and stuff, and we can show the township people here and stuff that we want to serve them too very much and stuff, because we're here to protect you and hope to keep your house and safe enough and get there quick enough and everything. And then if you with the medics and stuff like that, they were in pretty quick on the scenes and stuff like that. So I'm proud of everybody. I am with the department, and I'm sure that everybody else is. So Got a good group, so any questions? I don't want to keep going. You don't want me to keep going.
Thank you, Chief.
I may get kicked out of here.
All right, next on the agenda is legislative and intergovernmental relations. I don't see Representative Frisbee. County Commissioner Dan Strobridge here. Is not here. All right, we're moving on to, there is no unfinished business. Next is petitions and new business. So we have asked, Catherine LaValle came last month and gave 3 minutes about the school millage, and we would really appreciate you taking the time you need to let us know about that.
Thank you so much. Good evening, and I'm Catherine LaValle, speaking to you tonight as a community member. On May 6, 2025, Battle Creek voters will have the opportunity to vote on a bond initiative that would help the district generate $27.5 million over the next 2 years and help make significant progress towards addressing Battle Creek Public Schools' long-term facility needs for current and also future generations of Bearcat students. The 2025 bond is expected as an initiative, if voters approve, would result in no increase above the current debt millage rate currently happening in the school district. And all Bearcat students deserve a world-class education and opportunities, and that requires world-class facilities. One of my favorite parts of this presentation is there's no tax increase, and you might wonder what that is. Tonight I have a flyer for all of you. Could Officer LaValle pass them out to the board here? She's such a good helper. And then I have one for all the audience members too, but I will be getting that to you. Thank you, Officer LaValle. Thank you. But one of the things that is nice about this flyer is my favorite part is these little icons there in the middle of one of the sides of the flyers there. And it speaks to safety and security, the building envelope, playground updates, and the CW stadium. And this bond, if approved by voters, would be tied to these 4 focus areas. That's very important in the state of Michigan, that bonds spell out what the money's going to go towards. It would not go to salaries at all. It's actually due to a study that the district did on an assessment of their facilities for long-term use. It was identified as $134 million needed to bring these historical buildings that sit in the district up to some world-class features. Safety and security would be technology. It's evolving quickly, and we need to make sure we are up to date with all our security measures to protect our students and staff. Right now, cameras are on site in our buildings, but sometimes they only have a lifetime of 5 years, and they have to be upgraded to be more efficient because technology is always changing. The building envelope is the average age right now of our buildings is 75 years old. Yes, they are historic, and the upkeep of these buildings is important as it directly impacts learning and attendance. The playground updates, right now, all of the elementary buildings, that would be the K2 buildings, as well as the 3-5 buildings, have playgrounds that are just obsolete. In fact, some of the playground equipment has been removed because it doesn't it does not qualify for insurance purposes because it's outdated, it's unsafe. And the playground updates would be important to have happen because we want our community to feel safe and have places where families can take their children to play. And finally, the CW host stadium, would be, right now has enjoyed in the last year a brand new football field resurfacing, as well as a very beautiful track facility. But we discovered in looking at this beautiful track and football field, it really made the seats where people attend the events. The restrooms are totally in disrepair or hard to find parts for repairs. But it would be wonderful to update the stadium facilities to be more welcoming to the crowds that go to see the athletes perform. So as I mentioned before, the students deserve world-class facilities and educate to thrive as community leaders. One of the things that I mentioned to you about the $134 million that is not going to happen overnight, phase one would generate some monies of $27.5 million of voter approved on May 6th. Annually, there's a sinking fund for the district. Right now, the Board of Education does have a goal each year from that sinking fund. $1.7 million goes to facilities upkeep. But the state of Michigan has such regulations on what you can do with your sinking fund that you really have to be creative. But the board does annually use sinking dollar funds. And this $1.7 million will go into identifying the facility needs that are in over 20 buildings that the district has. And critical safety projects could be the security cameras. Right now, employees have a card system, it's a fob system to let them into the buildings. Interior keying of the doors. And at Fremont and Verona, they are in need of a secure vestibule. I know at Fremont, it's hard to find the office in that building. Years and years ago, students went home for lunch and the office area was just very, very small. Well, it probably needs to be repurposed in some way at the Fremont building because that would be one of our oldest buildings. The building envelope would be something to do with roofing. Right now, the district does have a plan on a yearly basis, whether it's a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, which roofs need to be restored. And as you know, roofs will have a warranty, 20 to 25 years. But this building envelope would include roofing, restoration, exterior door replacements to improve security once again. And one of the buildings in the last 3 years had tuck pointing done. This is at the top of the building where there's cement features on the top near the roof, but it crumbles due to the extreme temperatures we get, whether it's heat or the cold sometimes in our winter. Playground updates would be done at Lamora, Fremont, Valley View, Post Franklin, and Verona. So it would be a complete playground. And there would be exterior benches as well as receptacles for trash. And then, as I mentioned before, the CW Stadium would be making sure it's safe for everybody's use and visiting teams get a chance to see how nice a facility is operating. Home stands, visitor stands, new concessions and restrooms, team rooms, and right now the visiting or the umpires, the referees have no place to go at halftime at all. So that's in the planning stages. As you can see in this brochure, May 6th is the date of the election. There's no early voting for this election. It's a special election. Polls will be open from 7 to 8 p.m. There is absentee voting. The last thing that I'll say is on the back side where you see this graph, people have questioned the district, well, how do the other school districts shape up to what Battle Creek's millage rate is? And this is current information based on what present millage rates for the surrounding school districts in the Battle Creek region. If Battle Creek was to approve the new millage rate, it would bring it in line to what the other districts are at this time. Last thing to know, if you have any questions, the district webpage, battlecreekpublicschools.org, has a frequently asked questions section. It's kind of hard to find, but I found it tonight myself. It's called the 2025 Bond Improvement Information. So if you look for bond improvement, that will get you to a link that will have frequently asked questions. Right now, the month of February, also March, is just voter education, just wanting to get the information out to taxpayers and residents to explain why there is a need for this particular bond. It's just called phase one, and it's only would be generating $27.5 million. And I'm available for questions, and I just want to thank you so much for allowing me to make this presentation tonight.
Thank you so much.
you.
There's no questions because you were very thorough, so thank you. Next on the agenda is the Election Commission appointments through November 20th, 2028. And that would be Jean McKay, Trustee McKay, and Trustee Shannon Hoskins. And you two shouldn't.
We can't, no, we have to say
Somebody
that.
make a
So
motion. All right, and
Support.
second?
Support.
All right. All right, is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome to the Election Commission. Next is the approval of new hire for Deputy Treasurer Amy Trough. Anyone?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, thank you. Any second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I have a few questions. So upon hiring the new deputy treasurer and kind of any deputies, so do we vote as far as pay, hourly pay for them?
To be honest, I think that's the only thing the board can do because deputy supervisor, deputy treasurer, and deputy clerk would all be hired by the actual position.
Okay,
So the only thing the board could do would be to set
yeah.
the
What
pay.
I'd like to see is kind of looking at pay based on experience, where experience here for our new treasurer or any treasurers that we bring in, really, looking at their experience and then deciding on their hourly from there.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not completely sure that this would be a motion to approve the deputy treasurer. Am I wrong on that? Because
We can approve them, we would
it's,
have to have.
well,
a
but
separate
she hires the deputy treasurer.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with us. The only thing that we would do would be consider the pay. Correct? Am I right on that?
That's correct.
She hires.
For the deputy treasurer, we have on the agenda approval of new hire for deputy treasurer, but we wouldn't approve that person. That's completely up to the treasurer.
And then the board sets the compensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we should have here instead of new hire, add pay discussion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we could do that.
So we can change the, we would not vote to approve her as the deputy treasurer. Because
She already is.
she is the deputy treasurer and you hire that person.
Correct.
So I guess we could add a motion to discuss pay. I'm looking at you, Seth.
Yeah, looking at paragraph C, approval of new hire for deputy treasurer Amy Trop. For salary setting purposes.
So add that to the
Yeah, I think that'd be
motion.
fine.
Are you
Yeah.
comfortable with that? To add at the end for
So,
salary purposes. Perfect. All right. And I think trustee Meineke, you seconded that. Is that correct?
mhm,
And you're okay with that?
mhm.
Okay. All right. Now let's discuss the pay. How's that?
Yeah, so I guess with experience, this new deputy that we have, what is her experience? I guess
Well,
my
she's
question.
worked in the, maybe not the treasury field, but she has worked in the secretarial field. And she learned quite fast. I mean, what is it that you're looking for?
Well, my just concern is bringing someone in full pay without experience. Okay, and then I'm a firm believer on paying them well, but also if we lower to what our other deputy treasurer was doing, because she had experience. And then the new one we bring in, we don't bring in at full pay, and then
The other
work.
deputy was pulled in at full pay.
Mhm. But she had experience. She
With
was
what
here
the-
before.
The 4 months,
And it was for me.
she was here 8 months total.
I'm sorry.
She didn't have much experience.
No, she didn't, but I'm just saying, that's just my concern. I don't know the person. I'm okay with you hiring that person. But I
Well,
also
you have to
think,
be okay with hiring her.
Yeah.
Cause that's my choice.
and I'm not questioning that
Okay.
about your choice. I'm questioning the hourly rate, which we set, correct?
Correct.
You often try to achieve parity
Yeah,
in township government with deputies so that they're not paid too much different from each other. Although the clerk responsibilities have expanded greatly over the last year or so, it's not quite the same as it used to be,
Yeah.
but that's always been a common intent. Just to make sure we have that.
So what was Tanya's hourly rate? I mean, what are we working from?
This time, I don't have the numbers sitting in front of me, so
14, I believe.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
And Amy's in a little bit lower than that.
what was that hourly? Sorry.
I think it was 2614. If you give me a second, I can find it.
It's 2614.
Okay.
And then we moved her up to how many hours a week?
Tanya was full time.
Full time?
And will Amy be full-time?
Yeah,
Okay. And you said her hourly rate was a little lower
Yes.
than the 2614?
You say a little, how much? You
Let me
know,
say it's,
I think Barry's pulling it up.
It was 14, that seems high. Let me look at the budget real quick. What did I read?
so what's your recommendation? Does anyone have a recommendation?
I think the motion would be to approve the pay, but we need to know what the pay is to approve it, right? That's what we're in the discussion.
So is
part
it,
about.
is it awkward if she's already offered her a pay and she's accepted the position? Is that awkward? For the
Well,
person,
that
Is
does
it
seem awkward, but
for the
we-
person that,
Sure, if it's lower
for the
than-
person that's hired?
Discussed in the past the compensation policy, which could help define that. We just never gotten there.
We don't have a compensation policy, is that correct?
That's correct.
Speed direction.
I just added, added it to the list, yeah.
Gives me a lot of direction there.
Yeah.
So we really can't
Right,
establish a policy when we don't have one.
right,
But, and that's it, that's just a future thing, maybe we should have that
Yes.
kind of policy.
I agree.
Yes.
for
So
sure, we
just
will.
kind of, yeah, have a little more leverage, and I'm
Yeah.
not questioning this new deputy at all. But I just think we need to have that leverage on experience or to that.
Yeah, 2614 is the rate.
That's what she is getting paid currently,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's the same rate that Tanya was receiving before
Yeah.
she left.
Which the budget was 48,935. That's in, I think in January, kind of full time, and we adjusted the budget up $5 to make that pay scale. So 2614 is the rate
Okay,
And is that with or without benefits?
with benefits.
With benefits.
Full time.
okay, so we have a motion to approve the new deputy treasurer with a pay rate of 2614 full-time with benefits. That was the motion. And then was seconded. We had our discussion. So now I think this should probably be a roll call
Okay,
because it has to do with money.
ready?
Ready?
Trustee Greenwood,
No,
trustee Hoskins,
No,
trustee Menke,
No,
clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis,
Yeah,
trustee McKay,
Yes.
supervisor Bodie,
Yes.
4 yes, motion carries.
Next on the agenda is Night Watch upgrade door access system for the main office and for fire station number 3. These have asterisks, so I'm not sure if those asterisks mean anything. Alta access system is the amount of $10,239.66. The installation $13,074.52. And $23,314.18 for fire capital fund will share the cost with the general fund. Yeah, I think they all died. I was trying to ignore that, Cody. There we go. Is that better? Okay,
Yes.
all right,
do you need a motion?
we do.
So move.
All right, any second? All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So these are all security measures.
Yes, ma'am. Expandable to new fire station, when we put that built.
So it covers station 3,
Yes, ma'am.
and the upgrades here are the fobs, key card.
Yes, we'll get everything on the same system.
And we're moving away from the fobs, or,
Bob will be, we can use phone apps, Bob, or like key access cards. And the system will also integrate with our camera system for security also.
Excellent. Any other discussion?
what's the timeline? Like, how long does it take to install?
Won't take them too long. They need to come onto a site survey first. So this number is potentially slightly high until he actually sees if he can reuse some of the door actuators that we already have. It's presumed that we can, but he included them in there just in case he can't. So we're not coming back looking for more funding. And I don't have a time frame of how long it'll take them to get to it. Probably depends on what kind of work they've got. He's anxious to get started and you guys approve it.
Any other discussion? All right, we had a motion, a second, and discussion. Because this is money, we should do a roll call.
Trustee Hoskins,
yes.
trustee Menke,
yes,
clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis,
yeah,
Supervisor Bodie,
Yes.
trustee McKay,
Yes.
trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Great. Next on the agenda is BSNA software cloud upgrade for $75,035. Motion,
Motion.
all right, second,
Second.
all right, now discussion.
So this was budgeted in the budget from last year, or for this year, correct?
This year.
This year's budget.
For that amount. It was in the budget for that amount.
I actually budgeted 100,000 for it.
Okay,
So coming in under budget. He did give us some discounts, trying to incentivize us to get there. The current system is not supported, or it's still supported, but not well. We don't have an end date yet, but it's looming. It's kind of, we will have to go at some point. I think when we looked at this, how long ago, Joyce?
Probably 4 years.
4 years ago, it was at 100,000 then.
Mhm.
Might have been 80,000. It was pretty high back then. And we avoided it then. The other thing that this does is adds payroll to BSNA, which currently will run through ADP, so that's a separate service that we pay for. And man hours to manually enter transactions. So this will help with that issue. Mistakes can be made on manual entries when that kind of stinks. So this will help streamline that and just get us all under one operating system for all things township.
great.
Is that a cemetery module?
Yes, it's right, the second, it's not there. Well, they anticipate by the time we go live, which is the end of the year, that it'll be, it's about a 9-month process to get converted and switched and trained and ready to go. So we're anticipating that we would go live first of the year.
Okay,
Would be nice from all aspects. That's why it's here now, so that we can get started on that.
and we're under budget. Those are good words to have. Any other discussion? All right, again, this is money, so we should do a roll call.
Trustee Menke,
Yes.
clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis,
Yes.
trustee McKay,
Yes.
supervisor Bodie,
Yes.
trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Excellent. Next is the zoning board of review reappointment for Claudia Brown through December 31st of 2026.
So move.
Support.
Excellent. Any discussion? I just have to say, I'm not sure if Claudia's online, but I just have to say thank you to Claudia because she is one of those people that always gives to her township, and that's awesome. All right, I think this is a roll, or not a roll call, voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Now, I think the next part was the additional motion for discussion of the squad 5-2. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So trustee McKay, was that a motion?
Well, I think there's gonna need to be some discussion.
Yeah, for sure. We've got to do the motion first and the
Yes.
second before we can discuss though.
So I'm making a motion.
Excellent.
I'll support.
All right. So now we can discuss. So
I'll
there,
open it up to Barry, who knows more than anybody.
Ooh, I don't know about that. So the original adjuster that went out set the cost of repairs at 95.75, about 9,200. It's not on my letter I've got here. With the salvage value of that car at 95.75. The cost of repairs at that point, 9,200 minus deductible, pretty low. I had them re-quoted using OEM parts, which got our repair estimate up to 14,920. And some accessory coverage with lights and more tires got us to another 3,700. So we took the car to Lakeview Body Shop. And the owner looked it over and worked up an estimate of near 27,000. A pretty good difference there. The cap on our policy is at 40,000. If we reach 30,000 in estimated repairs, then they'll totally replace it for us. Kind of a wonky policy compared to normal cars, but seeing it's a apparatus, essentially, that's the type of coverage, and it works great on $1 million fire truck, but it's weird on this. We can't, the body shop owner, and I think any of us agree that spending $27,000 on a car worth about $9 million is kind of what are we gonna end up with at the end of it?
Right.
I think it's a can of worms we don't want. So our true options would be to tell them we don't want to fix, in which case they would give a salvage value. So minus our deductible around $8,500. They've already issued checks for $17,718, the checks in the mail. And through negotiating back and forth with them, going outside the norm, they're willing to give us that amount, put toward whatever we decide to purchase, and keep the vehicle we can use for parts or eventually scrap it. So my recommendation is that we don't fix it. We accept their offer, which they have flexed outside of normal operating procedure, which I appreciate. And that was our agent working on our behalf. I have, just as a quick reference, found a few vehicles that in the 10 to 12,000 range would probably be decent. Year newer, less miles. This car also has 165,000 miles on it. I think we can get a suitable replacement and still be in that ballpark. I talked to Chief today and he was in favor of looking to find a suitable replacement. New would be about 45,000. We do have some pretty heavy expenses for fire this year already for the new engine and planning station 1. And we're still 3 months into the year. So
Right.
I think we could find a suitable replacement for this money, you know, potentially a little bit more. So my ask would be to authorize, Gene and Chief and I to shop, with a cap of 20,000.
So, just for my memory's sake, I'm pretty sure I remember this. That vehicle was donated to our fire department and then we paid, or the township paid for the lettering and the radio and equipment and things like that to run for those squad calls, those rescue calls. And so really we would be with a newer vehicle, one that hasn't been damaged like this. And then we still have all the equipment and radios that we can put in the new vehicle. I think that's a win-win, personally.
By the looks of it, that some of the pictures, I don't think we want to fix it.
You know, I had a vehicle one time that I nearly rolled. I don't know how I didn't. Was likely driving too fast on bad roads. And, but it never, you know, and they fixed it and, but it was never,
Never the same.
right, never, right, yeah. Okay, so for this one, I think we added 2 motions. So this first motion is to add the discussion of Squad 52, which we did. So that can be a voice vote. All those in favor of the discussion we just had? Say aye. All right, any opposed? Okay, so the next motion is to authorize Superintendent Beamish, Trustee McKay, and Chief Kokensberger to spend up to $20,000 to purchase a replacement vehicle for Squad 52.
I'll make the motion.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, now discussion.
So the money that we're getting back from, if I'm understanding correctly, the money we're getting back will almost cover the 20 or will cover the 20?
No, right now we have
Couple thousand.
17,718.
And it's almost 18.
That's
Couple thousand.
committed. They haven't paid us on the push bumper, the brush guard on the front. I don't have an estimate on that yet. It's not gonna be substantial, but
But it's gonna be, the 20,000 is going to be close
yeah, that,
to replace.
what I found, just searching cars.com, typically 20,000 would give us the ability to buy, even if we found something in the 2022 range, potentially year-wise. I didn't find many in that year range, but we might be able to get something that's just a few years old for 20,000. It'd be nice to get it like the $12,000 one I found with 55,000 miles on it. You know, the fire department would like that one. Then that would get us. We probably could get it outfitted for 17 more or less.
Any other discussion on that one? These don't last very long, Cody. The green lights don't.
We'll keep that.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second, and that is to authorize Superintendent Beamish, Trustee McKay, and Chief Kokensberger to spend up to $20,000 to purchase a replacement vehicle for Squad 52. Because that involves money, we should probably do a voice vote
Trustee
or
McKay,
roll call.
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Trustee Menke,
Yes.
Trustee Hoskins,
Yeah,
Supervisor Godey,
Yes,
Trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
excellent. Next on the agenda is a motion to go into a closed session for MCL 15.268 paragraph A for periodic personnel evaluation.
So moved.
Okay. But we just go into a closed session, correct?
Need a roll call vote.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Supervisor Godey,
Yes.
Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee McKay,
Yes.
Trustee Menke,
Yes.
Trustee Hoskins.
yeah.
7 yes.
Reminder that the rules are out on the table. Any public comments? Hello,
Good evening. My name is Autumn. I'm from Battle Creek. I'm here to express my deep concern over the actions of a previous supervisor, Mr. Pikola. It has come to my attention that via FOIA documentations obtained during their tenure that this individual removed township documents and electronics property that rightfully belonged to the township and its residents and has failed to return them despite their recall. This is not only a breach of public trust, but a violation of the responsibilities which were entrusted to them in their position. What's more troubling is the apparent weaponization of these materials. YouTube videos and discussion, it suggests that the former supervisor is using these township documents and assets to target certain individuals, seemingly out of personal animosity and towards those who remain in service to our community. This behavior is unacceptable. It undermines the integrity of our local government, sows division among residents, and distracts from the real work of addressing the township's needs. I urge the board to take swift action and recover these documents, electronics, and investigate the extent of their misuse and ensure that no further harm comes to our township operation or leadership. The residents deserve transparency, accountability, government focused on progress, not petty vendettas. This situation cannot be allowed to persist, and I trust that you will act decisively to protect our community's interests. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I have the documents here to back up what I'm saying. Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, I am Adam Heikela, former supervisor here, the one that's being slandered and talked about. So I want you to please bring up in court those documents. Take me to court, Seth. All of you, okay, all of you, please, please, because the documents will show the massive lies and wrongdoing, the cover-up that our clerk did of saying that documents do not exist, that absolutely do exist. We have people that are on vendettas and missions here, but it's a standard thing. This outsider from our community that's trying to build political power is doing exactly what our board members do. You build power and you want to have control. Some of you have serious mental issues, I do believe. We saw some of it here with some anger that was coming out because of miscommunications from board members. We have someone that has such fear in her mind that she has prevented a local resident from being here, which some of you smirk about and laugh about because you are happy that those individuals aren't able to come here, which is absolutely disgusting. We watched a charade of political theater here by awarding members on a situation that you guys are covered up, that didn't talk about it all. You guys had a serious accident from one of your members. We had a meeting and not one thing was said about it. Then to make it better so that no one can talk about it unless they makes them look like a bad person, right? That's what those things do with those awards that you get to give out and deem you the queen bee now.
All right, I've
No.
breached all the peace that you're gonna breach tonight.
I don't.
You need to leave the meeting.
No,
For
I
breaching
don't
the
think
peace.
so. I don't think so
Leave
because that's
the
actually
meeting.
my second time actually
I
that
know.
actually was in
Can you
done.
escort him out, please?
Now this is going to
You
be a
need to leave the
violation
meeting.
of my rights and
That's
I'm,
fine.
so you
I'll go
know,
to jail.
you will be losing your
You need to
qualified
leave
immunity and
the
everything.
meeting.
You're not gonna be, you
Leave
will
the
be
meeting.
sued for violating my
You have
First
breached
Amendment rights
all
here.
the peace you're gonna
Thank you.
breach.
I will be seeing you in court. Wow.
Any other public comment?
Please file it, Seth.
Okay.
File it so we can talk in court about Mr. Hires and all of the situation that's gone on here. Please, please do it. You guys are.
Okay,
On a happier moment.
all right.
I'll have bourbon after the show. All right, Steve Gotch, partially Bedford, partially Battle Creek, partially Lost. Question I have, and comments I have. Years ago, we had chip seal done, through Bedford Township. We paid a decent amount of extra taxes to get this all done. We didn't really ask for it on our road. Our road is so bad, how bad is it, that my 93-year-old mother cannot walk on it. That's how bad it is. The chip seal they used was not flat stone, it was round stone. The chip seal is coming up. The gravel is being tossed into people's yards and their driveways. You can go down Colonial Drive and take along the edge. You'll see that it's all over the place. It's a mess. So I called them and I said, hey, what can you do to fix this problem? Here's what they said to me. Well, we can fix a problem. All you have to do is go to your township and petition your township to come up with the money out of their coffers or to assess an extra assessment tax onto the citizens to get the money so that they can repair the road that doesn't need repair because it's perfectly fine. So when you guys have time, feel free to come down on Colonial Drive there and take a look at the road.
That's out West Point.
Yep, the old West Point Theater out there. And we paid, originally, the people who lived on that road paid to put that concrete in. We paid to put the asphalt in, and it had cracks in it, which could have been just easily filled. Instead, you see what we got now. So they ruined our road.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hi, Tony McPeak, artist. First of all, I want to thank you for my award last month, which, I said caught me off surprise, so I didn't come up during public comment. But turned into a fiasco on Facebook. So
Oh, no.
like, to which my daughter asked me tonight when I told her I was coming to this meeting, did she need to come to protect me? No, I'm good. I'm good. I can handle it. I'm a big girl. I do want to acknowledge and appreciate you acknowledging the fire department, not just for their swift actions with the assistant chief's accident, but overall, because I turn 64 next month, and 99% of my 64 years has been living in Bedford Township. And I can say we probably have the best fire department right now they have ever had. And when people want to fuss about buying new equipment and that, we don't want to go backward. I can remember as a child living in West Michigan, and the fire truck would be coming down, and we would get our bikes out, or we would just run alongside, and we would make it to where they were headed before the fire truck got there. And a lot of times it had to be towed back to the station. So we don't want to go backwards. We need to keep our equipment up to date. And thank you to the fire department, and thank you to this board for all you do, because you tolerate a lot. And I know I've missed some days of bringing some stuff up, but I'll get back on track. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all you do for our township. Truly appreciated. Any other public comment?
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Tracy Lee. I just wanted to introduce, Barry and Cody know me. I have a local animal rescue that's been in Bedford Township for almost 30 years. I just wanted to make some comments because the cats are a big issue in our area, okay? The grants that used to be provided through Eaton County Humane Society and companion cats are no longer being provided. That stopped last year with the COVID thing and all the funding. So we do trap, neuter, and return cats to our area when my rescue has the funds to do that, just so you know. And what that means is the community cats, we don't call them feral because most of them are pre-owned, and they may act feral when you catch them because they go back wild pretty quickly, but they really are domestic cats. We clip their ear, which is a universal sign that they've been spayed and neutered, and we return them with a rabies shot to the area they came from. That way then I just wanted to educate everybody that doesn't know this, that when you remove a whole community of cats, another community moves in. So if you trap and remove cats from an area, you're not solving the solution, because the wild cats in the area move into the area. Now, Bedford Township will take cats that are trapped. They have a thing with the animal shelter. And if you trap the cats, they will remove them and take them to the shelter if there's room, and whatever happens, depending on their personalities. But if you are in a community area where there's a lot of cats, the way to develop and get that population down is the trap, neuter, and return effort. A community cat usually only lives 5 years outside. That's their life expectancy, and it's usually shorter. Of course, the kittens, we're just starting. We took in 4 pregnant moms that were from community people in Bedford Township that have all just had kittens. That's 7 kittens. And then when we spay and neuter the moms, they may go back to the original person if they're to be turned out. So I just wanted to let everybody know that in the best interest of the community, if we ever have funds, which everybody's short of funds, we would more than happy work out a thing with Eaton County Humane Society, who does our spays and neuters. And we're working with I've been helping at Bedford Hills Trailer Park for years, since Candace Katz was there. I kind of took over, and now there's a group from Eaton County who is trapped 40 last fall and is about to trap 40 more. They're having a fundraising more for Bedford Hills, because we know the trailer parks and the apartment building cons are bad.
Yeah.
I live in the area up across in Woodside Drive, and there was a lot going on there, and I've been trapping cats in that area for 30 years and tripping the ears and then putting them back. But anyway, so I'm sorry, did I talk too long? I'm sorry.
You did, but do you have a contact information? Is there something, do you have a card or?
Yeah, I can leave a card with you guys.
That'd be wonderful, thank you.
We're limited on our funds. I'm 68. I have a full-time job and a full-time career, as well as the animals that we take care of. But we do want to try to help people to understand. I understand nuisance cats, okay? I don't want them peeing on my porch and pooping in my, then killing the birds. So I
Right.
understand that. So it's a problem that I want to help, try to help with the community if we can.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
All right, is there any other public comments? Well, next on the agenda is elected officials and trustees' personal privilege. There is just one thing I want to mention, and it kind of goes back to yours, Steve. The road coordinator, we have not forgotten about. We are in discussions with that, and hopefully we'll have some more information next month at our meeting for a roads coordinator to help with that kind of thing that you're having. And then elected officials, trustee Meineke.
Thanks everybody for coming. We had a great turnout tonight. Keep on coming, tell people, let's get people in here. Thank you to all the firefighters and everything you did for Bill and, you know, I mean, without you guys, like he said himself, he might not be here, so keep up the good work. We know we got a good fire department. Thank you.
Trustee Greenwood.
I just want to echo what trustee Mikey said. Thank you, everyone, for all of your hard work. Usually goes unnoticed. He was critical, and we wanted to make sure that he's a trusted member of the fire department and the community. He's impacted my family tremendously. It's important that we take care of each other. It's important that we maintain a sense of community. So thank you.
I think what some people may not understand with some of that is our paid on call fire department. They are giving up their time away from work to respond to help others, and sometimes all night long, sometimes weekends, many times holidays and family events that they miss because they're helping others in the community. So yeah. Trustee McKay.
Thank everybody for coming. I also want to mention something that was mentioned at the last meeting. Spring is in the air, and I know we're going to discuss resurrecting the Parks and Recreation Committee in some form, shape, or whatever. I was proud to remind everybody about this tonight, and it's on our mind. Those things will be happening soon.
Trustee Hoskins.
Again, thank you to all the police officers, fire department, everybody. Amazing work you do. The other thing I'd like to thank is Miss LaValle for the school presentation. Our kids are our future. So we all need to remember that and get out and vote. So that's it. Thank you.
Treasurer Davis.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight, and I'd like to thank our officers and our fire department.
Clerk Bracco.
So everything they said, and then, don't forget to vote May 6th. It'll be Battle Creek only, Battle Creek schools only. No one else is on the ballot. Second thing, we have in the spring cleanup, the flyers out on the table. So spring cleanup, mark your calendars for May 17th from 8 to noon. And that's at Fire Station 3. I think that's all I
can't
had.
wait for that.
I'm not sure if everyone's aware that we lost the county treasurer this week. Ryan Winsauer passed on Sunday, so his service is the 17th, Christie.
Yes, 17.
So keep that family in your prayers too.
Yes. One last reminder before we adjourn, don't forget the Community Education Day is August, or not August, it's April 26th. My goal would be to have one in the spring and one in the fall. So if you're unable to come this spring, maybe you can in the fall. I would love if everybody in our township knew and was able to perform CPR if needed. And I think you can see with the assistant chief, knowing CPR can literally save a life, and it did. So if you would like to go, those forms are out there. I just need your information back. We'll have time next month, obviously, at the beginning, but If you can fill those out, leave me the bottom part. You can keep the top part with the agenda. It'll be at the Overflow Church from 10 until 3 on Saturday, April 26th. So with that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 8:12.